Happy Friday, Scrap Masters, quilt makers, friends, and family. It is week 4 of our brand new series 3 of the Scrap Masters randomly generated quilt blocks. Are you ready to see what today has in store? I certainly am. Let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. This is So Well. I am your carefree quilting host, Rob Appell. Thanks for being here with me this happy Friday or whenever you are watching. Now, if it is a Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, please join us in the chat along. Today, we'll make sure that our theme is, I hadn't prepared ourselves, so that means it's a carefree theme. And yes, as I promised last week, I would show off the awesome carefree quilter shirt, Team Rob Appell. And of course, this is for the New Year's Day mystery quilt along, where Tiffany Hayes and myself will be teaching an incredible free mystery quilt right here, So Well, Rob Appell, and it's going to be fantastic. I know you've joined us for the years in the past. It's going to be a little different this year, and we're super excited that you've all been so supportive. But today, we're going to get our big dice and our color wheel out and randomly generate our 4th block in Series 3. If you're brand new here, welcome. What we've got going on is a random scrap block generator. I call it Scrap Masters, and the Series 3 is a free download at robappell.com homepage, and what you can get there are the 12 different blocks, and I want you to go through and pick your favorite 6 blocks and number them 1 through 6 so that we can randomly choose them with the 6-sided die. Please remember, we have one and only one rule, and that is there are no rules. So as we adjust color, we adjust fabric count, whatever, it's all for the fun and education of learning how to be more free, fluid in our quilting so we can learn how to work through some of our other fabrics, our scrap fabrics, and or if you're like me, sometimes you just want to make something but you don't know what to make, and that creates a little anxiety. So this is my what to sew when you have no idea what to sew concept. Now, let me get a little more of the information out there. What you can see on this back wall is a Scrap Masters where I've used black fabric as my common background, and then the original Scrap Masters, the OG version, here you can see all of the blocks are super scrappy where they're all just colorized blocks for the background. Today I'll be teaching, and hopefully if I can keep my tones straight, white, gray, black format to follow the pattern. And because I am working through all the fun new blocks, I am going to choose this as my block today, and I will randomly number it based on what the roll gives us. If you want to have your own spinner and dice set, you can pick that up on robappell.com. This is really cool. And then also don't forget, folks, we have the Scrap Masters t-shirts. We have Rob Appell team t-shirts. We have the Scrap Masters on the front, Scrap Masters on the back. I'm working on ball caps next. What do you think? It's going to be great. So anyways, check out robappell.com. Thanks for the support. Let's get to quilt making today. I've got the dice catch because things can get a little rowdy around here. What pattern number will I call this block today? Make sure you've numbered your favorite 6 so that you can be quilting along today. Here we go. Perfect, block 2. I needed a block 2. So let me go ahead now and number this one block 2 for future reference. And I'll be using this for the rest of my day, stitching along. Which color are we gonna do here? Oh, it's a liner. I'm doing a respin because we just did red orange last week anyway. So let's see what we got. Yellow orange, another liner. Let's give it a 3rd try. I did it, blue green, my very favorite. Okay, so blue green will be my theme color. I am using some Tula pink. I think it's Stardust, Fairy Dust fabric. I don't know, I always call it by the wrong name. Anyways, it was the perfect choice. Look, it's got all the colors that I've already pre-sorted my fabrics down 3-inch squares. How many different fabrics can I use today from that blue-green family or whatever I want to make my block pop? We got a jumper, folks, but it was an 11. Double, singles. I like that. 11. That's going to be the perfect number of fabrics. I probably say that every week. Okay, so we're doing 11 fabrics. I'm calling it block 2. Whichever block you're using, fantastic. Blue, green is our color family. And that's where I really like to start. So I'm going to come diving in here to my blue greens. pull out several and count them off. See what I've got to work with to start. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a ton. I need to refurbish and replenish my scraps pretty soon. Now, if I go ahead and turn my color wheel, probably like what we saw a little bit last week, if I bring in blue-green over here, now I have my yellow, orange, and my red-violet again on that triad because it's the perfect size triangle. So let's do something a little different. Maybe I will make this block all up here in the monochrome side and push this way today. So now that'll give me some interesting extras, and usually I'll use this white space here as my star dust, fairy dust fabric. I'm just gonna call it the Rob dust from here on out. So yes, I think that's what I would like to do, is I wanna push a little harder onto the blue side. Let's see what this does for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have one more choice. Okay, so this is what I'll work with today. And being that said, remember, I want to break down my fabric choices into the whites, then what I'm going to say the grays and the blacks on the pattern. Because I'm working monochromatic, I can actually kind of stack these in my blue family now and my green family. Can you see that? So what I think I'll do for us is call this white, gray, black as I follow the pattern. And then all we need to do is look down here in our square catalog. This is going to tell us the units we need to do. And even though I normally start making my half square triangles, check it out. This is going to be an easier one today. We have 18 from the white section. So these pre-cut over here that are 2.5, I'll make sure I have 18 of these set aside. And then I'm going to want to have 5 from this family over here. So I'm going to set now 1, 2, I probably have 5 different fabrics and this will be perfect. 3, and I'll just go ahead and quickly finish preparing my squares now because I don't have any in the gray family. So what I'm doing is I'm going to stack my squares so that they're all really tidy on one corner here, so I can trim from that corner. Most of these should be 3 inches or roughly 3 inches. So I will take them now down to 2.5, 2.5s. We'll set these aside with our 18, and now let's look at our half square triangles necessary. For the half square triangles necessary from the white and gray family, I need 4. Remember, these are 3-inch squares, so that's going to yield 2 each. So what I really want to do is have 1, 2, using some of my favorites again. And then from the white and black family, 1, but I'm going to get 2 regardless. So I'm just going to take this one here and this dark, so it'll really stand out. So those will be half square triangles. And then I'm going to need 8 made from my gray and black families. So that'll be basically these combos here. And remember, I'll get 2 from each, so now I'll just set out what would be 4, if I'm calling these the blues. And then I'll match with 4 of the greens. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little something because I've realized I never got to use my green squares that I chose and liked, and I think that these are going to help pop. So you see here in the middle, these squares most likely are going to be set to be these same squares. So I'm going to pull 4 of these now, cheating. Remember, there are no rules, and I happen to have the 4. So I'll replace 4 here, which means I'm going to need to take 4 from there, which means I'll only need now 14 of these gray squares. So that's 14 there. Now we should be able to set the rest of our fabrics aside, close in case we've made a mistake in our fabric choices or counts or something like that. And now with my edge guide rotated out of the way, I'm going to sew a diagonal line from point to point using my tape here to mark myself. You might want to draw a diagonal, and we're going to chain piece for half square triangles that will be trimmed down to 2.5 inches square when finished. So I'm just going to line all these up. Now, once I get to the end, I'm just going to actually lift my presser foot and rotate and come down the other side. It's easy to see because I can keep my foot parallel to that thread, even though I got that one pretty close at the beginning. Fortunately, I'll be trimming them down. That's more like it there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use the thread cutter on the edge of my machine to trim both layers of thread here. Pretty easy. And we'll start to separate these using our straight edge to keep our hands safe. Now, while you're all watching today's video, I am traveling once again, yes, this time to Indiana, and I'm very excited to be going to see a bunch of old friends as well as meet some new friends at the Quilt Guilds out there, and also my friends Lisa and John at Unraveled in Spencer, Indiana there. And so again, folks, if you're part of a quilt guild and you'd like to have me come and do a workshop with you, or you'd like to have me come and present my quilts or be part of a retreat, a featured quilter, I just love doing that kind of stuff. And now that I'm totally independent, working for myself, which I love, I have the calendar and the free time to be able to do so. So at any rate, please reach out, robappell.com, if I can come and make one of your events even a little more special as your carefree quilter, as your scrap master, or just your, official. I'm a great hug giver as well. So anyways, after we separate these down here, I'm going to use my slotted trimmer to trim these using the 2.5 inch mark. And I'll trim both edges like yay. And then I just manually dog ear the corners and press to the darker of the two fabrics to prepare all the half square triangles down, like I said, trimmed at 2.5 inches, stack them by color so that we can get into the design work as we go. So while I'm also trimming these down, like I said, grateful and thankful today that I'm traveling out to Indiana to see some of my friends. I'll also be seeing the Bennett family. Oh my gosh, if you're watching today, Ed and Becky, I've been threatening for a million years to come and eat out of your refrigerator. So this is going to be amazing. I'm super excited to see you as well. Terrific. And then it's going to be a really busy, this starts the travel. So kind of an abbreviated grateful list, but also a very thankful travel list, because as I kick off the travel season, it is certainly a blessing to get to be out there with so many of all of you quilters. So anyways, I again am super excited to be heading on the road while you're enjoying Scrap Masters. I hope you are all following along and posting what you have been creating these first few weeks in Series 3 on our Facebook page. Remember, there are 3 questions I'd like you to answer so I know you're a human and not a bot. I did have to throw someone out recently for just advertising constantly, so I am trying to watch, folks, make sure that it's a good, safe place for us to communicate, share our quilts, get some answers. Look, I forgot to cut this one, but I want to show you this trick. You can use your slotted trimmer straight edge just the same for that, right? Just make sure you keep your hands safe. So anyways, this is going to be really great. I'm really excited to get to going on with that stuff. I've been getting a lot of emails about the quilt kits for the New Year's Day sew along. And yes, they are sold out at the moment, and we need to make sure that we have what we need for production before we can reopen the sales for that. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue to support us, of course, the event's free and you do not need a kit to sew along. It'll just be a free live 5-hour feed on New Year's Day right here on my YouTube channel. But if you'd like to support the program, because it isn't inexpensive to put these kinds of things on, you can buy a t-shirt still, you can buy the overpriced sticker packet which is mostly a donation where we'll send you a sticker set anyways, which are pretty cool, and give you, there's actually a couple of clues, and it's also time to post a new clue. So as you're watching this video, it means that tomorrow should be August 1st, I believe, and therefore I'll put up clue number 2 on robappell.com for the mystery quilt along, New Year's mystery quilt along. And yes, we thought it'd be fun to have some clues this year so you could get a little pre-prep work. Not that we want you doing the whole quilt in a day, but some of you like to enjoy that, do that, and so kind of quickly. So at any rate, having lots of fun. It's so great to have all of you out there enjoying the carefreeness of today. So wow, in our comments today, if you're chatting along with us, what are you carefree about? We said our theme would be carefree quilting or carefreeness. So what have you let go of recently? What are you being carefree or more carefree about and enjoying the process? I'm trying to let go of my calendar, and not my long-term calendar, but my minute-to-minute calendar. I find that I spend so much time focused on worrying a little bit about what I should be doing or what's next or being on time or whatnot. So I'm learning to set alarms, and that helps me let go of the calendar a little bit. Maybe that helps all of you. Okay, now that we have these half square triangles organized, let's kind of get our bearings. And like I said, I'm going to swap out the white for a gray family here and put these 4 in the center. I think I'll make it even a little more interesting and save these folks a little bit. Let's do 2 and 2. Might as well, and we can. This will be fun. I might change my mind once the rest of the layout comes together, but for right now, I like this concept. So we'll do this. Okay, now what I'm going to go ahead and do is start to build out the sections of the pattern, and we'll chain piece this together as we go. So now I'm going to need the black and the gray families to go perimeter, with the black making arrows pointing in. So that's a black arrow pointing in. I want to mix my fabrics up. Black color family pointing in. Okay, now with that said, I need the black squares on all 4 corners now. So let's mix this up a little bit more. Good. Next, we'll go ahead and utilize out here on these corners our half square triangles with the white fabrics pointing out. And the white fabrics pointing out. And then up here is this top is a changeroo where I end up with a black square down here and then our black-white half square triangle combo up here. The rest of these will be perimetered with the white squares. Okay, that looks terrific. With this, I'm going to go ahead and rotate in my edge guide, locking down for a 1/4 inch consistent seam allowance. Do however you do for your machine. Now we're going to web piece this or chain piece this without any ironing in between the sewing. We're going to iron at the end. Look at these as columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take column 2, I'm going to lay it on top of column 1, and I'm going to chain piece this whole series down to the bottom, setting the second column on top of the first column, and we'll work our way across the board this way. So after I join those last 2 pieces, now I'm just going to cut my thread at the base, pull all my work up, keeping it all in order. As I open this up, I'm going to grab this outer edge of column 3 and it rotates in. Fortunately, right now I'm using the same fabric, so it's almost like using solids. But you will have an easy time following your orientation of your blocks as you go. Pull that outer edge. And this becomes a very efficient way to save thread and time. Stay organized. I'm just loving it. I've got a little more in-depth video I've put out. If you're interested, please check it out here on YouTube. So we're just going to continue on this format till we reach the very last unit down there, and then I'll show you what comes next. And so we are, with all of our pieces now sewn in the columns, chain pieced. We're just going to go ahead and double check everything is where it should be. Looking in here, and now I'm going to just finger massage to nest or crisscross my seams. I'll get them all heading in the same direction as they go under the needle. So just lining up that upper corner now. And so that first one just kind of naturally wanted to face in the up direction, and so I will make sure that all of these seams do the same thing consistently there, so they rotate in the next column. On this half of the sewing, it's easiest to take the work all the way away from the machine to reorganize to prevent stitching some of these pieces to the other parts you're sewing. So just take an extra moment, and now as I'm going, I'll be looking at the seam facing into my lap. Very cool. Oh my gosh, and big news, folks. I've been promoting the heck out of the Houston International Quilt Festival. I'm super excited to let you know that when I last checked, 2 of the 3 classes were sold out basically in the first week. That was so cool to see. So thank you all again for the support. I feel so blessed right now. I feel very recognized as an artist, quilt maker, and more so a teacher. I just love teaching quilting and being with all of you in the classroom and these workshops and events. And so thank you for choosing me for your Houston experience. I promise to make it awesome. I do believe there was a little space left in the double tumbler, which I think might be Friday's class. So again, please check Quilts Inc., quilts.com for all the current info there. Seams now on this facing away from me. So now I'm going to go ahead and start to flip the pile of work over so I have gravity in my favor. Bring these last 2 unsewn columns back on top, let them rest there, and go ahead and work this together. So that under seam is up, so now this upper seam is under. Yeah, and we'll keep going with that. Okay, and now because we haven't used any ironing yet or steam yet, I'm going to just slowly start to work the seams, giving a little bit of steam as I go, and then at the end, I'll give it a good solid press, and I'll let it sit here until it cools on my wool mat, because that really helps my fabric go to the state it needs to be in when it's done. Fabric has memory, and so that's going to help it remember where to be, where I want it. And I'm already excited about the way this is coming together with this new fairy dust, stardust background. It's a Tula Pink fabric. I'm not sure of the exact name, apparently. But it's super cool and super scrappy, and it looks great in this block. So I called it block 2 today. It was blue-green in the color family. 11 fabrics or somewhere thereabouts. And thank you so much again for participating and posting your photos of what you're working on. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen over on our Facebook group. So thank you again for that. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this channel with all of your quilting buddies. It really helps the brand grow, and I so appreciate that, folks. I hope you have a blessed weekend. Keep those hands busy. I will see you real soon. Until then, please stay well.